Hey guys, welcome to my video about the Golden Globes. I'm going to be predicting every single category, predicting the winners this time because for the first time ever, we have an award show happening this year. The first one of the season. Very much looking forward to who wins. So I'll be predicting who wins. Obviously, I'll be doing a stream of that on my collab channel with Aiden, and I think I'll do a cut video up on this channel after they come, reacting to whatever happens, and I'm about to predict what's going to happen. And also my picks for what should win, because a lot of these nominations / people who I think will win, I don't think should win, but it'll happen anyway, so let's get into the list. Best Motion Picture Drama. So this category I think will go to The Trial of the Chicago 7. It seems like the kind of pick that everyone feels, yeah, that's a Golden Globes pick. They're not the kind of branch to pick something different most of the time. They usually go with a more conventional movie. And I think The Trial of Chicago 7 is new enough in a couple aspects that they'll be like, oh, this is a new enough movie, and they'll just all really enjoy it. I think the screenplay is very well. See Aaron Sorkin evolve as a director, and they really like Aaron Sorkin. They've given him, I think, 3 Golden Globes for screenwriting. For film alone, I think he's also gotten a couple for TV, so I think that easily could happen. As far as who could take it from him, I think it would probably have to be between whoever wins Best Director, which would be between Mank and Nomadland. I think Nomadland has a little bit better chance of taking director, which is why I'm picking it as the second thing to take it, but easily it could be Mank. I don't see Promising Young Woman taking it because I really have doubts of it winning either screenplay or director. I think it would be very tough for that to happen, so that's why I don't think it really has a chance. Same with The Father. It not getting a director nomination isn't great for it. It doesn't show great indication for it winning this category, and therefore I don't think they'll really get it. Even though there's a chance if for some reason they started to watch The Father after they voted and they all of a sudden started to love it, there is a small chance that could happen. Don't really see that happening. Next, we have Best Comedy Motion Picture. Now, everyone seems to be thinking Borat. I've got to agree, Borat's subsequent movie film seems like the kind of comedy of the year, frankly, in a lot of people's eyes. I think, at least from a how large it was aspect, Sacha Baron Cohen's been doing a lot of campaigning, apparently, for both this and The Trial of Chicago 7, so I could easily see either of those films being awarded, and I think both of them will. Borat obviously hit the Golden Globes before and got a win. Sacha Baron Cohen won for this performance before, and Borat did win again. So I think they find it nice to give both of those movies and efforts awards, especially since it became a somewhat important film of covering the dangers of prejudice and of COVID and the unawareness of it. As far as my picks, I think that Palm Springs should definitely win. I think it's the second most likely to win. It's about equal with Hamilton. They got about the same amount of nominations for me. People think there is maybe a better chance that Hamilton wins, it being such a large, iconic thing. The thing that brings it down a peg for me is I think hopefully the people at the Hollywood Foreign Press will actually watch Palm Springs and discover it's probably better, at least as a movie, than Hamilton, because while Hamilton's great, obviously, it's not really a movie, and I hope they acknowledge that. I don't think the other 2 films really have that good a chance. The Prom has a small chance. I could see a world where that happens. I'd be really mad as I really don't like that film, but there's a small chance. Music should have absolutely no chance. I'm pretty sure Sia paid a ton of money to campaign or whatever, bribed them essentially, to get these nominations for both Kate Hudson and the film in this category. I don't know why it's there, but I haven't seen it, but from what I heard, it's pretty not great. For Best Drama Actress, I think everyone's now predicting Carey Mulligan. People are seeing the rise in Promising Young Woman, and people always thought that Carey Mulligan was going to compete for that movie, even if Promising Young Woman didn't get other nominations like the director and screenplay one. But now it's been getting a lot of those. It got both of those at the Globes. It got the picture nomination. Now people think since this film's becoming such a part of the awards season that she'll maybe be the one person from this nominated movie to actually get a win out of it, which I think makes good sense because frankly Viola Davis is more of a supporting performance. It's not nearly as showy as Chadwick's, and I don't think they'll need to award her another Golden Globe because I think she already has 2 already. Before that would be Frances McDormand. Again, she's also been a part of award seasons a lot. She's got 2 Oscars. I'm pretty sure she's got like 3-4 Globes. And I could easily see them not having to give her this award, especially if they don't love Nomadland. There's a small chance they might love Nomadland. Again, the Globes don't seem like the kind of body that would love that performance, considering how understated it is. That's why I think Carey Mulligan's breakout, strong performance would be something they'd want to give the win. Vanessa Kirby also, I think, does have a chance, maybe as good as the other two people I mentioned, Viola Davis and Frances McDormand. Doesn't seem too likely. Pieces of Woman's been surrounded by a good amount of controversy and hasn't been as loved as any of the other movies that have come out this year. And while she's been the most consistent part of that getting nominated, Pieces of Woman has no. For Best Drama Actor, I've got to go with the answer that everyone's expecting almost the entire award season, and that's Chadwick Boseman. His performances is really good, and I think they're going to want to honor his legacy because I think everyone will know that they'll yell at them if they don't give to Chadwick almost everywhere, except for a couple maybe like critics groups, like some people who are like critics or cinephiles don't think it's as good as Riz Ahmed or Anthony Hopkins' performance. By the way, I think Riz Ahmed really doesn't have a chance to win this category. Even though his performance is amazing, it just doesn't seem like the pick that the Hollywood Foreign Press would go with. It's a more unconventional pick for a pretty indie movie, which they don't always pick. They usually go with a more mainstream thing. I mean, they gave The Martian Best Comedy. And I could easily see that happening because I don't think they'll like his performance nearly as much. I do think Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman could have better chances because Anthony Hopkins gives a great performance. The Father got nominated for screenplay and for picture, so there is a small chance they see his performance as that good that it's enough to overtop Boseman. Same maybe with Gary Oldman if somehow they just like love Mank to death. I mean, they gave it the most nominations, doesn't mean they'll give it all the wins, but if for some reason they think Mank is just the best movie maybe ever made, at least in the past like 2 years or something, they could easily give it maybe almost every single award it wants to. But I really doubt that. I think it's going to be Chadwick. I really couldn't see it not happening. For this category, if the Globes decide that Borat is the comedy musical movie of the year, then I could easily see them giving it all the acting awards that it's getting nominated for, and that would include Maria Bakalova. Her getting put in like the lead category makes a good amount of sense, especially for the Globes, and her performance is great. She's the only one in this list that has any real Oscar buzz, even though it's definitely not guaranteed she'll get nominated. I just don't really see anyone else taking it. It could be Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. That movie just came out. People love her. People love her performance in it. So there's a small chance that the Globes would all love it too, but I don't really see that happening. Michelle Pfeiffer, French Exit, I don't think has been getting nearly as much hype. Isn't a really a loved movie, even though they say she's maybe the best part of the movie. Again, that movie is very much low-key. It's not getting a lot of attention. Anya Taylor Joy would probably maybe be the most likely of these three, potentially because of how much of a breakout year she's had. Obviously, most people know her from The Queen's Gambit at this point, and she gives a pretty good performance apparently. But again, Emma released so long ago that I feel like the Globes might have forgot about it a bit. Obviously, they remembered enough to give her a nomination, but I think they'll remember Queen's Gambit more to give her the win for that rather than this category, which is why I don't think she has a chance. Then again, we also have Kate Hudson for music, which shouldn't have happened, and it happened, so you never know with these kind of things, but I think Maria Bakalova is my pretty safe pick. Still could be Rosamund Pike. I'd have to see, I don't know, I'd have to see the movie to be more enthusiastic about that happening. As far as a pick, I would pick Maria Bakalova. I've only seen, that's the only one I've seen actually out of this list, to be fair. I really wanted Christy Milioti in particular to get nominated. Didn't happen, unfortunate, but let's move on to Best Comedy Actor. For Best Comedy Actor, I think that Sacha Baron Cohen will win. He won it before for Borat before, and I think he kind of deserves it again. He wouldn't be my pick. I'd personally pick Andy Samberg. I love him in everything he's been in. Pop Star, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and now Palm Springs. He's great in this movie that feels like a more independent project than like what he normally does, which is like stuff that's more relating to the people around him, like Lonely Island content. But and he gives a pretty great performance, and he's some iconic lines, and I think he really kind of measures up to what Bill Murray was for Groundhog Day. He was that actor for Palm Springs, and he did it very well, so he'd be my pick. I do think they'll give it to Sacha Baron Cohen, though. I think they could also give it to Lin-Manuel Miranda. There's a chance, again, if they You know, if everyone loves Hamilton, most people love Hamilton, and they see it, yeah, this is a film we want to award. If they decide they want to award it, then I could easily see that happening, especially since Lin-Manuel is such a iconic figure at this point. He's hasn't got that much attention in actor. He did get nominated last year for Mary Poppins Returns, so I could easily see him get the win. I don't think it will happen, though. I think they'll give it to Sacha Baron Cohen. The other two in this category, James Corden, Dev Patel, there's a small chance they could give to James Corden if he campaigns real hard, which appears he kind of did, considering the film he got the nomination instead of Meryl Streep. But I'd be really mad at this because it's a really bad performance, doesn't deserve anything. Dev Patel is the most unlikely. David Copperfield hasn't really gotten much attention at all, so it's kind of like Anya Taylor Joy. It's a well-known actor that I don't think gives good enough performance in a not so good, or at least movie that's not getting much attention to get that. All right, let's move on to Best Supporting Actress. For Best Supporting Actress, I think it could definitely be Amanda Seyfried. Manka's got the most nominations here, and I think it has chances at a lot of things for picture and director. Even though I don't think it will win those things, I think it has a pretty good shot at winning this category in particular. Since Amanda Seyfried actually got nominated, obviously people dropped off on her because she didn't get nominated for the SAG. Of course, since this is a completely different entity and it's clear that Globes love Mank, I think they could easily give her the award. I don't see why they would give it to Glenn Close, considering they've already given her a Globe. They don't owe her like the Oscars does. And while Olivia Colman also has gotten a Globe already, she doesn't need it as much. Her performance, again, they might love The Father. There's a chance of that, but I wouldn't really see that happening. As far as a pick goes, I wanted Yo Jun Yun in this category, and I really love Minari. I think she deserves it. She's not here. I think Amanda Seyfried would be my pick as well. She's definitely better than Glenn Close in her movie. And the other two nominations, Helena Zengel and Jodie Foster, again, haven't really got that much attention. News of the World didn't get any other nominations. Martini only got one. Didn't get any picture things. Didn't go off dramatically. And I don't think they'd give Jodie Foster this win. It'd be really, really weird. So I think, yeah, Amanda Seyfried's my pick and winner. Let's move on to Best Supporting Actor. For the Golden Globe of Best Supporting Actor, I think that Sacha Baron Cohen really has a good chance. He's currently my pick for the win because I think if the Golden Globes love Charles Chicago 7, as many people think, including myself, they'll love it. And they'll want to award Sacha Baron Cohen considering all the campaigning he's done. I think the Globes really love him. They think he's an important actor in the way that he goes about his work. And I think they would enjoy to see him take this dramatic turn and win this bigger award or more important award rather than, playing Borat all the time. So I think they might award him that. Daniel Kaluuya, though, is very notable. He's the only nomination for Judas and the Black Messiah, which I think is somewhat a good thing. It shows, even though they didn't love the movie, that they loved his performance. But then again, there is a measure of, usually you wouldn't give a performance in a movie you don't like a win. But I think it definitely could happen, but I'm sticking with Sasha because if Charles Chicago 7 sweeps, I think he'll be part of that. Leslie Odom Jr., again, could have a somewhat good chance. I think he definitely has a weaker chance than either Sacha Baron Cohen or Daniel Kaluuya, but considering that Regina King got the director nomination, I think there's a pretty good chance he could maybe take this win, but I really think he has a lesser chance than the previous two. Bill Murray, Jared Leto really shouldn't be happening. Neither movie got any other nominations. Neither are particularly that noteworthy. Bill Murray, I think, is good. He carries that movie, but then again, that's not a movie that the Globes obviously loved, considering it didn't get nominated for comedy. They nominated music instead, so I don't see that happening at all. So yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen's my pick for the win as far as the prediction goes. And as far as my personal feelings go, I want Daniel Kaluuya to win this category pretty badly. I think he's definitely better than anyone else in this category, even though I wasn't as enthusiastic. I loved him in the trailer. I loved him in the movie just a little bit less because the trailer really showed the peaks of his performance. All right, let's move on to Best Director. Best Director, I think it's between Chloe Zhao and David Fincher. Now, obviously, Mank got a few more nominations than Nomadland, but there wasn't really anything that Nomadland particularly got snubbed in. There wasn't any category where it's getting Oscar hype where it didn't get nominated. So it could easily be either of them. I think it will be Chloe Zhao. I think they'll want to. This is maybe a pick they can see as a more diversity pick, even though obviously she deserves it. But again, they've given Globes to David Fincher in the past. They don't owe him like the Academy does, so there isn't that mentality at all. And I don't think David Fincher's going to be campaigning that hard. He'll probably be more campaigning for his father, I'd feel, so maybe Mank has a slightly better chance in Screenplay. But of course, Fincher, being the auteur that he is, gets nominated for this movie. But I don't think he wins. I think they give it to Chloe Zhao. Aaron Sorkin could bust in and take this if, again, they just love the trial of Chicago 7. Again, most people view him as not being as important to the film, obviously, as at least as the director. They find more the actors and the script he gave them were the more important parts. But he could easily win this if Chicago 7 sweeps. So if that starts to happen, I might change my mind, especially if Sacha Baron Cohen wins. I might predict Aaron Sorkin. Probably not. But I think that will happen. Promising Young Woman, again, I don't think Emerald Fennell is really a pick that the Globes would want to go with. I don't think there's anything they want to particularly give it except actress. I think they'll love the other movies a little more and think No My Land is just maybe a better movie. As far as the last category goes, Regina King in One Eye Miami. I really don't think that'll happen. It could. Not really. Okay, I'm lying. Won't happen. As far as a pick goes, I really want to see Chloe Zhao take this. I would also love to see Emerald Fennell take this. Either one would be great. Even though I love all the movies in this category, I think the weakest as far as a directing standpoint is Regina King. After that would be Aaron Sorkin. But I think they could love the Trial of Chicago 7. But Chloe Zhao still my pick and still my prediction. All right, let's move on to Best Screenplay. For Best Screenplay, I think my pick, I'll start with my pick this time, is Promising Young Woman. I think it's a really original script that does the thriller elements very well, while also bringing in some good social commentary, kind of like Get Out. But I think it's smarter than Get Out in a good amount of ways. As far as who's going to win, this would be my second pick, and who I think will win overall is The Trial of Chicago 7. It's a very good script. It's one of Aaron Sorkin's better ones, better than Molly's Game and a couple of his other movies like Charlie Wilson's War. And they've given him screenplay for so much stuff. I'm pretty sure they gave him a nomination for Molly's Game. They gave him the win, I think, for Steve Jobs. And I think they also obviously gave him the win for The Social Network. So I could easily see this happening. I don't think it won't, which is why I'm so high on the Trial of Chicago 7 winning picture, because I think they'll want to get... This may be the point where they say, okay, Aaron, you've reached your peak. We're going to give you picture. Well, not, and maybe even director, but after this, they'll probably like slow down a bit because they've given him enough awards. Yeah, I think Mank maybe is the second best chance. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I think they could just love the movie and think it's so smart in how it tells its story about Hollywood and this particular real person. They think the research will be well done and some of the lines are snappy. They'll enjoy that. Promising Young Woman, again, would seem like a pretty dynamic pick for them, so I don't think that'll happen as much. The Father and Nomadland are kind of equal for me as far as who I think has a better chance. I think Nomadland has a slightly better chance, only because I think if they give Chloe Zhao director, they'll also maybe acknowledge her writing. Unlikely. I think they'll give it to the Trial of Chicago 7, but you never know. Weird things happen. Let's move on to Best Animated Feature. For Animated Feature, this is Soul. I'm pretty sure this will be Soul. It's definitely, I think it's stronger as far as love compared to Toy Story 4. Was the Globes didn't give it, they gave it to Missing Link, so they really like stop motion. There's no stop motion rivaling it here. Wolf Walker's the only thing that really has a chance, but they haven't really given it to the big indie film ever, I don't think. I'd have to double check. I don't think they have. They usually give it to a bigger movie, even though they tend to love Pixar a little bit less than the Academy. I don't think they'll happen this time. It's Soul. Almost definitely Soul. Soul isn't my pick, actually. I think Wolfwalkers is a little bit better overall. I think it will last the test of time a little better. I think over time people will find Soul's ideas a little less revolutionary, as I think people like Charlie Kaufman are trying to do more movies about, and other directors obviously are doing more movies about the mind and the purpose of human life. I think that more hard-hitting stuff will become more important as overall society becomes more depressed. That was a really weird social commentary, but yeah. Over the Moon would be the only thing I think has a slight chance. They wouldn't give it to Onward because It's the worst Pixar movie. They wouldn't give it to Croods because why would they give it to Croods? It's really weird. Over the Moon is a nice kids flick. I don't think it's nearly as good as the two above it, but there's the small chance for some reason they love this film, but I don't think there's enough Asian people in this body. Even though it's supposed to be called Hollywood Foreign Press. And like 2 billion people live in Asia. Alright, never mind. Let's move on to Best Score. I really see it being Soul again, because if they love Soul enough to give it an animated feature, I think they'll give Soul the win for score. It's a really good score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Again, they might love Mank more, which is why I could easily see them giving it to Mank, but if they're really focusing on the music, they'll realize that Soul's is better, and they're very unlikely to give it to the better score made by the same group of people or two people. Tenet has a slight chance. It didn't get any other nominations, but where would it get nominated? Director for Christopher Nolan? Not really. And the score is really good, and maybe they'll love the score. Enough of them listen to it on Spotify, and it might win. Probably not. I'm still picking Soul. As far as a pick, probably is Soul. I think it is the best, even though I have listened to Tenet more. I think Tenet's more listenable, but I think Soul's fits the movie better overall. News of the World could have a slight chance, considering it got one other nomination. I don't think it'll happen. The Midnight Sky, I don't think they love Alexandre Desplat that much to give him the win for pretty mediocre to bad movie. So yeah, I don't think that'll happen. Soul is my prediction and pick. Let's move on to Best Song. For Best Song, I think Speak Now is pretty close to a lock for the win. It's one of the things I'm more confident in winning. One Eye Miami got nominations in other categories for director and the actor who sings the song got nominated, and also he wrote the song. So they won't give him the supporting actor win, they'll give him the win for song. They do love Daniel Pemberton, which is why they probably nominated Hear My Voice, which is why I think it's the second likely to get in, because they've given him score nominations for Motherless Brooklyn. If you've heard of that movie, you're probably lying. Fight for You from Juice and the Black Messiah is the other nomination that film got, but Daniel Kaluuya doesn't sing it, so I don't think it'll happen. It's also at the end of the movie. It matters less. I think the Globes will appreciate that. Speak Now was part of One Night in Miami. Tigers and Tweet only got one other nomination. It is sung by Andre Day. Don't quote me on that. So it has a slight chance. Don't really think it has a chance. ISO Scene, it got nominated in foreign film, but I think that's just because they love Sophia Loren, but they didn't love her enough to put her in drama actress, so don't think they'll give it the win either. So Speak Now is my pick and my prediction. Let's move on to Best Foreign Film. To wrap this up, we have Best Foreign Film. I think it's going to be Minari. Pretty plain and simple. It should be Minari. It's better than Another Round, even though people do love Mads Mikkelsen, and I love that movie. Minari is definitely better for me personally, and if they don't give it the award when it's called the Hollywood Foreign Press and it's about, foreign people, even though it's a great story about America, that should not be in this category. I want Lee Isaac Chung to be on that stage. If he's not on that stage, I really am not watching the Golden Globes again, even though I've never watched them until now, because it's once every year and it's 3 hours. I'm even looking forward to that time, even though I love movies. Other than that, I really don't see it being anything but Minari or Another Round, which is why I just randomly threw in the rest. I think Two of Us, maybe, if for some reason they really love it. ISO Scene, I don't think, because they did not nominate Sophia Loren, and people were maybe expecting that. Didn't happen. La Llorona, unless Shudder pours all of its revenue stream into campaigning, that's not happening. So yeah, Minari's my pick for sure, and definitely my prediction. That's been my video on the Golden Globes. Make sure to go check out when me and Aiden react to the whole thing. We'll be live streaming it and then uploading it to our collab channel, Dead Film Critics Society, where we talk about a movie every week. So it's basically a video podcast, whatever you want to call it, but we talk about a movie every week. We'll be talking about Malcolm X coming up this week. Make sure to go subscribe to that channel. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Obviously, like the video, comment on the video, tell me how stupid my predictions are. I really want to hear that. because I think some of them will probably look stupid after the winners are announced, because I'm very unconfident in a lot of these because the Globes are very unpredictable because they nominated music.